Joining me today is Will Hill from Will Hill Consults. Will, I guess first question, in general, how was 25 for you?
Man, 2025 was a fantastic year. A lot of stuff going on, but very, very positive year.
Awesome. Well, as we look back, do you have a single biggest, let's call it lesson that you learned last year?
Um, yeah, I think that the biggest lesson I learned is to value the areas where you have some control and understand where you don't.
Did you have something happen where you realized I don't have control?
Just there were a few client engagements that I picked up where I didn't end up being able to control the calendar and the schedule as much as I thought I was going to, which is fine. But when you make other decisions and you've misjudged how much control you have, you can put yourself into some interesting spots, Derek. So
It almost sounds to me like you're raising teenagers because I have the exact same problem with my kids.
I got two of them out of the three. So yeah.
Okay, well, aside from things that you couldn't control, do you have a favorite achievement or victory that you had in 2025?
So yes, favorite achievement and victory this year is definitely on the personal side. My wife finished grad school and passed boards as a nurse practitioner. And so that means for the last couple of years while running the business, letting her do school, and I homeschool the three kids. And I feel like just the two of us not killing each other and surviving that juggling act is a fantastic achievement, and super proud of her for that. So
That that's awesome stuff, man. So happy to hear that for you guys. Um, Conversely, is there anything that caught you off guard in 2025, either personally or professionally?
I think that um, the variation of change in firms caught me off guard. I was thinking that I would see a little bit more of the acceleration of change within some firms, and I still see a lot of hesitancy, and that did surprise me this year. Maybe I shouldn't have been surprised. Maybe that speaks to either my naivete or my hopefulness, but it definitely caught me off guard this year, Derek.
Well, you're in change management consulting. I almost feel like I should say to you, tisk tisk, Will. You should understand people don't want to change.
I know, but there's so much out there to change into. But I think, we've got to be aware, and I think this is a better answer, Derek, is that when I've talked about change with firms, especially small firm owners, there's the lack of clarity as to what they're truly trying to achieve continues, I think, to get in their way. So as I work with firm owners that are stuck in like, ooh, which way should I go? What are you trying to achieve? Well, I haven't thought about that in a while. I'm just trying to run this business. Well, that's not enough. What are you actually trying to get out of this? And that feeds so much of the critical decision making.
A mindset shift from surviving to thriving, I guess would be the best way to describe it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, changing topics. See what I did there? Um, as we look at 2026, do you have any predictions on trends or something that might enter the market, perhaps, for the accounting profession as a whole?
Yeah, I think that uh, we will continue to see interesting stuff with PE money, and I'll call it PE money, but I also mean non-PE money, like wealth advisors coming in, uh, kind of roll ups happening independently. I think those things are going to continue, but I think we're going to also see another run of new, smaller niche firms that come out of people leaving those firms. I think I've started to see that in the last year or two. I think it's going to really continue. If I get annoyed at the red tape, why wouldn't I be able to go niche down? The barriers to entry are lower than they've ever been. And if I've got the education, I can really go make that happen. I think the other kind of prediction around this year is that we will finally see some real appreciable traction on how firms are using AI every day. Um, and not just like learning how to use it, but finding some tools that execute functions, and not for the firms that do it. It won't be for the sake of the tools. It will be for the sake of what they're trying to solve from a problem to solve mentality. I think we're finally getting people going, okay, well, wait, I don't have to learn everything. I don't have to know every tool. I got to focus on my problem that I'm trying to solve and dig in. I think we're going to see more and more firms really drive that direction.
Well, speaking of AI, how are you personally using AI?
Yeah. I used it on a family vacation to plan some outings and activities. And my wife and I put that together. That was kind of fun. I was at a conference in DC and she's like, "How do I go places?" I'm like, "Just ask ChatGPT what you should do. How does the metro schedule work with where we're at and parking?" Anyways, so that's one way. But in my client calls, I use AI to record all the notes. I'm starting to use AI to automate some summations, some tracking of client goals and communication back with clients about progress and action items from that. So that's a key area for me with AI in the work I do.
Do you see that use of AI changing for you at all in the coming year?
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit more automated uh, updating of client documents. I had used it for some kind of notes sending before, but I'm gonna start to let it as I work to create client goal sheets. I'm gonna let AI update those goal sheets as opposed to feeling like I have to recreate something new every time. I feel like I can turn it from a one-time stagnant to an updated living document that's updated through some of the tech that's there, Derek.
That's awesome. How about in the profession? You mentioned this a little bit earlier about firms, maybe some of the leading edge firms beginning to utilize AI to do more than just here and there. Do you see AI, do you see 2026 as the year where AI really truly makes an impact in this profession?
Yeah, I would say so. I think, there are the abundance of tools that have it out there is finally good. And then when we start thinking about no matter what type of firm you are, what you can do to drive it. So if you're heavy on the CAS focus, well, good grief, please stop entering data anywhere. These things could be automated any which way to Sunday. So let's get that moving. If you're an advisory firm and you're having heavy advisory conversations and working through, there are ways to use existing AI note takers. There's newer AI note takers out there that are accounting firm specific, that can help drive into workflow and automation. So I see it really moving forward. I'm seeing some firms using it heavily with some of their marketing loops as well. So I think that it is going to really become much more pervasive this year.
And finally, do you have a hope not? Do you have a something that you hope doesn't happen in 2026?
I hope that we don't stop connecting with one another, right? So I think we've been on a really good trend of post-COVID reconnecting as a profession and in the industry, and there's so much dialogue going on. There's there's a possibility of people going, everyone like Will and Derek are talking about AI. I'm not going to go talk to them anymore, right? Because we feel like the conversation is futuristic and out of touch still, right? So I hope that doesn't take place because it's those conversations that drive real action, that drive real possibilities away from just the top level.
Well, I am looking forward to getting a chance to shaking your hand again in person sometime in the next couple of months, Will. And I hope that you have a fantastic rest of the holiday season. And here's to a great 2026.
Excellent. Right back at you, Derek. Thank you.